Have you ever wished that you could talk to a ton of different sellers at once about listing their property instead of one listing presentation at a time? Well, stay tuned. We're going to talk about that right now. What's happening? I'm J.C Agajanian, broker associate with the Whissel Realty Group at eXp, and today we're talking about seller seminars. It's probably not a foreign concept to you if you've been in the business for any period of time, but it is a little bit of a complicated one and one that needs some massaging and some effort to work through and really execute well. But there's some basics we need to talk about before we get into the weeds too much, really. And first of all, the idea is that just like almost everything in our real estate world that we live in, we don't have to have every single detail planned out before actually starting the process. Us realtors picking a date and starting the marketing and inviting people could be all it takes. And then between then and now, we will figure it out. And you know that the same thing happens every time you get into an escrow. You've got a closing date and you don't know what problems are gonna come. You're gonna have to solve them and you know it's gonna have to happen by that closing date. So why not get out of your own head, planning and plotting and having every single detail figured out before you are willing to start something like this, and just pick a date and go for it. Grab a partner or two, maybe an assistant or another agent, so that it's not just you on your own, and you'll figure it out by the time it's ready to go. It will be all good. So pick a location, pick that date, start your marketing, just get it going, and you will figure it all out before that time comes. Now, let's also keep in mind that these are definitely gonna be long-term nurture leads. They're in the discovery phase. Maybe 10% will transact right away, but most of them are not going to. So don't have incorrect expectations with these seller seminars that you're gonna put on. You gotta set the right expectations. And then you've got to close well. You've got to give them precise instructions on who in the back of the room to talk to or whatever you have lined up, what's going to come next, what the next steps are, and you've got to hang some sort of carrot. There's got to be some sort of bonus if they have you, the presenter who's on stage, show up in the next week or two or something, and you're going to get something of value at no cost to them with no commitment, saying they don't have to use you to list their home, but you're willing to do this. If they set the appointment, you're going to give them what they've asked for. So yes, like anything else we decide that we want to work on in our real estate business, speed to execution is crucial. From ideation to execution, the shortest amount of time is going to be the most impactful. And that goes for a seller seminar like we're talking today, or some new buyer marketing piece, or whatever it is that you've got an idea to execute on in your business. Don't just think about it. Don't talk about it with coworkers. Don't make a big long plan. Figure out how to take the time from that idea to the time you're doing it and shrink it as small as possible. As far as advertising goes for these types of seller events, there's lots of different ways to do it, and it's nothing new under the sun. If you're going to be sending postcards, letters, flyers in the mail, you're going to be doing voicemail or text blasts, you're going to be adding an offer to come to an event on other marketing pieces like a listing flyer or a postcard that you're putting out for something else. You're going to be making cold calls. You're going to be doing all the stuff that we do anyways to drive people to an event. How do you get them to RSVP? Eventbrite or something similar is going to be your most common way to get them to RSVP. You could go a little bit more elaborate and use one of the funnels that you use for your marketing in your business, like a buyer, lead portal or a seller lead portal from some other marketing type effort that you're doing. But Eventbrite's fine. Use something that's just going to get them to RSVP, log in, and then follow up with them to make sure they don't forget the day before, whatever the case may be. When it comes time to discussing what the actual content of this seminar is going to be, we don't have to think too hard about this one either. I mean, most of it is primarily going to be what we are presenting in our typical listing presentation. Of course, we want to have calls to action inside the presentation. Maybe we have a lender or someone come up front and to discuss, say, conditions of the economy, comment on rates, talk you up as the biggest, baddest dog in town, and give you some more kudos on your way up. So now you're the expert, but we also have this other expert in a different field, right? And then you're just going to go through the benefits of working with you and your team. And we're talking to a large group now instead of just one couple across the kitchen table. Most of all, we've got to really focus on the education piece when it comes to this seminar. It is a seminar, after all, not a selling tool, as far as everybody else knows. And so we've got to keep it authentic, and we've got to give them educational information. Whether you establish a relationship with myself and my team and you hire us to sell your home, or you take this and do it on your own, or you hire someone you already know, we hope that you use the tools and the education we're giving you in this seminar today to really benefit the city of San Diego and raise the bar of how real estate is done here. Obviously, you want them to work with you, but you can't be, heavy-handed with it, because this is a free event that you put on offering an educational seminar. So we got to follow through, and we got to give that to them. Now, if you're serious about putting a seminar on like this yourself, there are going to be details you need to know, like, which exact points to include in your conversation, in your speak, and your presentation, maybe how to get them to raise their hand, and what sort of calls to action to take, and how to really close effectively. And while I haven't run a lot of seminars like this myself, I would be happy to connect you with someone who has. If you want, you can just reach out, send me a message below, and we'll chat. In general, people want to know how to streamline the whole process from A to Z. They want someone to show them the way. They want a roadmap on how this is going to work out. They want to know what pitfalls to look out for. And they want to know also that you're experienced. And so give them your experience, give them your track record, give them staging tips, give them home prep tips, give them what it looks like to prepare the house for an open or for showings, provide them timelines on how this stuff all works. Just give them information that you have, frankly, off the top of your head, things that you're probably offering your clients anyways. Just give this information in a methodical and teacher-like way. Take the stance of the professor in the room and that they are the students, right? And give it to them that way so that you're the professional in the room. Really got to understand how they feel and try and articulate to them that you understand how they feel. Identify the problem, explain how you've come up with solutions to these problems in the past and done it over and over and over to the point where now you've got it down and it's going to be easy for them. You want to communicate to them, how they feel. They need to feel felt then, and then when you give them the roadmap of how to go about conquering this problem, they're going to feel found. So the concept of being feeling and felt and found, you got to articulate that to them. You're meeting them where they are, telling them you understand where they're at, and you're not leaving them there. You're showing them how to get out the other side with a high five and a success and a lot of money in their pocket when it's all said and done. Finally, I kind of alluded to it with a lender up front, but gather your partners. If you're going to have moving companies, lenders, handyman services, whatever else it is that you're going to package together to offer them a done-for-you solution, pull some of those people into your seminar. Maybe they're not all on stage co-presenting with you. Maybe they're just there as resources on the side to talk to people after the meeting. But gather your partners, show them that you've got everything down and that this is going to be the easiest way they could possibly go about this process, and then get ready to follow up. Because like we said up front, this is not an immediate transaction sale. You're going to have to follow up with these people before they are ready to do something with the sale of their home. So that's all we got for seller seminars. I hope this was helpful for you. And as usual, take something that you want to implement in your business and go do it. Don't just think about it. Don't just talk about it. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'd be happy to chat with you below.